Good morning again all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you an experimental method to lay your ply line. Now what I usually do is I use cardboard, you push it into the crevices and then you cut an outline and transfer it over to plywood board. But today I'm going to be measuring many points and then joining the dots. So let's take a look, shall we? What I've got to work with here is 9mm structural ply, 1200, 2400. I want to start from the black line on the rubber seal, which means that the plywood will go in to there. So I'm going to need to cut one piece on this side, one piece on that side, and then another one at the top. So what I've done here is I've just measured from the furthest point inward. So that's our zero line, then measured at 1200 the length of the plywood board, and we're going to have a reference line that runs across here. This is where the plywood board will sit. It'll sit here, right up this line. So the part on this side is very thin. I just wanted to explain how this is done. So what we've got is a representation of the shape of the van. So you've got the curve of the back door there, that's the curve in the corner, and then this bump where we measured from, it's 1200, that's just on the left hand side of the wheel arch. You've got the wheel arch itself, which is this part, then there's this, it's not an equal representation, but this is that space there, then you've got the gap for the door step, which is this part here, and then you've got the end part. The reference points are our back door and where ply will end. So we measured 1200 from the zero line, which is there and there. What I've done is just kind of lined out the 1200 mark line, and then what I'm going to do is mark along the line, and from there I'll measure the distance from that point at a right angle to the wall. As you can see, I've measured in from the black rubber. The distance is in the brackets, so 7mm in. It's 1025mm to the wall. Then at the next point, it's 1045mm from the wall at 30mm in. The next one is 1115mm from the wall at 15mm from the black mark, and I've just done a couple of points. So in effect what we are doing is we're measuring from this side here. So let's for example take this 7mm, and that is measured as 1025, so that gives us this point here, and then the next one 30mm at 1045 gives us this point here, and then the next one gives us this point here, and then the next one gives us this point here. So if we were to take these four away from this line, we'd end up with the crosses in an orientation like this, which, if you continue down the line, you would get a couple more coming along like this, then one up here, two up here. So you'd end up finding the contour of the wall. So I'm going to use a right angle, tape, and trusty old pencil. Once you've got all your points marked, you want to just connect the lines up. Setbacks. this point here, you can see there's a corner, and because there's only 2 points, we don't have that accurate representation. But all we'll do there is try and draw that in, and try and match it. On this corner here, I feel what's happened is that, again, there's not enough reference points, so we haven't quite got the curve to fit. The nice thing about this is that because there's a straight edge, you can make sure that everything is flush. So this is flush on this wall, and this is flush on this wall. So you just keep chopping little bits out until you can finally make things fit. Because I'm going to cover the wheel arches with soundproofing, and I'm going to put some carpet on top of it, I need to have about 10 mil space. So I won't actually butt this right up to the edge of this here. I will leave a gap for insulation. So what that means is the other side has to be cut a little bit shorter to allow that to fit in. I've been a bit hasty and I've started to cut before showing you guys, so I'll just set you up. Bit tight on the corners. Okay, so I've done a bit of measuring and I've got this piece all measured up. I'm going to cut out a square for this part here, because that's actually, if you look closely, it's actually raised, so it would create an uneven profile for the plywood. So I've just marked it out here. I'm going to cut this square out here. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. I've taken the chunk out for the engine cover, and then I've lined it up perfectly with the inside of the ply, and then I've also cut out the foothold shape. So originally we had the whole board level with the side of the van, and I went underneath and I drew a line like on this one, and then I took it off and cut it, and this is the result. So not too bad. That could even double up to go in there, I suppose. So I'll do this one now.